Hey guys, it's your girl Samantha. I know you haven't heard from me in a very long time, probably a little bit over 2 years, but I'm back. I had a lot of things, personal things going on, as I know a lot of YouTubers probably say when they disappear for like 2 years or whatever. But I really struggled with, I still struggle like with, because people tell me I need to make YouTube videos, and I'm just like, I really don't want to show my face. Um, but I know deep down, I just don't know like sometimes like what niche I should stick with. And I ended up back with my channel Black Nation News because I realized the main thing I want to talk about is just what's happening to African Americans slash ADOS slash Black people and how things are affecting us in this nation, in this country, in this world. And so I am back making my videos because I just feel like there's some really important topics that I want to discuss. And I believe it's really important that a person from the American descendants of slaves, from that lineage, has a voice and gives their opinion on things instead of listening to people who are biracial, Hispanic, African, who just came over in the 1980s, so on and so forth, like Asians, whomever. I don't want to hear from all those people especially when it's going to affect my race and my children and my children's children and all the other little Black kids in America. So, I had to come in here because I was just, scrolling through YouTube, watching videos, and I'm not going to lie, I've gotten mad about a few different things. So this is one video of many that's coming up in the next few days. Time permitting, because of course I'm still a mom, I still have other things to do. But I just wanted to address some of these issues. So I'm actually going to try to play this whole video, even though I'm trying to think if I want to play. I mean, I'll probably just play, like, fast forward to clip certain parts. But I'm going to play certain parts that I want to discuss that I feel are concerning to me as a Black mother, as a Black woman here in America. So let's go ahead and get right to it, shall we?
Problems.
So this is as you can see, it's created by Ashley Acuna, who is probably African. And nothing against African people. Y'all know, anyone who's listening to my video knows I don't have anything against anyone, especially African people, because I feel like that's my descent, that of African descent. So, but my thing is, I have a real problem with them coming into America like 2 decades ago and taking positions that should be for the people, the descendants of the people who went through slavery and a lot of other atrocities that America put up against us. And I just don't really care for their output to be included just because they don't share the same experience. So usually their output is not going to be helpful to what African Americans need to feel whole again as part of our reparations for all the stuff we have endured in the past and what we endure in the future. And this is actually why I started making this video, because there was an African woman that started talking, and there was another woman, I think she was possibly Latina or something, because she kept saying Black and brown people. And I'm like, why are we talking about brown people when we speak of critical race theory? Now, that's not to say that critical race theory, like, I don't even really know much about critical race theory, for one. I think the title of it is stupid. As someone else mentioned, and of course it was like a white girl of all people, she just called it what it is, because Black people seem like they're scared to say exactly what things are. And for good reason. A lot of them have been terrorized by whites for like forever. So they're still having all this fear, but I don't. So there's a white lady who did mention that, I want to say it was the white woman, but it's like, yeah, it's not it was her. So she was saying like, yeah, it's not a theory because this is fact. Like, racism does exist in America. America is a racist country. It's built off of racism. Like, this is ignorant that we had to sit here and have these conversations. And I'm going to go on and show you guys in some other videos that I create more ignorance that I just feel like I cannot sit by and not say anything. I've literally fucking had it. Like, I'm just tired of listening to the stupidity and people spitting shit out their mouths and expecting Black people to just listen to it and rock with it. We're not going to do that. So let's continue. So I'm going to fast forward a little bit to some of the things that concerned me. So this is the white woman that's speaking. Let you listen to her.
And the fact that we have the capacity to debate upon this, if the truth should be taught in schools, is absolutely deeply racist and disgusting. Also, for me personally, I find the word critical race theory, I find it's like trivializing the problem, because it implies that it's a theory that could actually be debated upon, which it shouldn't be. It's not. It's not a theory, it's a fact. So when they want to teach critical race theory, it shouldn't be a theory, it should be the truth, it should be the fact. So the way I'm seeing America, or even Germany, which is the motherland of racism, as we all know, I doubt that even if it is being enabled in schools, I still doubt that it's going to be the truth, because as we all know, we all having history lessons, right? And it's still bullshit. So what makes us think that a system that was built and is enabled on racism is going to teach us the truth about the crimes we are still enabling today? So
thank you.
So I really did like what she had to say. I don't have an issue with people who are not African American or, or black to speak on things. It just depends on what they say. And I feel like she was very respectful and educated in what she said, and it supported what I want to hear as a black mom. Like, that's correct. It's not a theory. It is fact. It's actual fact that this country has been built on racism. It has a racist history. It has a racist present, and if we don't stop it, it's going to continue to have a racist future. So I really liked everything she said. I have no complaints about that. So let's keep going, which is really rare, because usually I do not like to hear anything that has to do with me coming from someone who's not black, like African American. And I have to keep specifying that, because there are going to be there are black people who say things that don't share my lineage. They don't share my history. They don't share my ties that I share with America. So those people, depending on what they're saying out their mouth, I really don't want to hear it. And you're definitely not going to be speaking for me or mine or people in my family who have gone through this history, and probably a lot of other African Americans who are outspoken like me. So let's go on to, she really kind of said what I wanted to say. There was a woman, so this is the woman, the African woman, I did not like her. So let's see what she had to say and why I don't like her.
I went to school, I worked hard, so while some people were twerking at the club, I was working, feeding my working hours, like whatever, staying up all night, okay? I graduated with flying colors with a business degree. I was able to get a job. Let me finish. I was able to get a job.
And so for those of us who have family who descended from slaves and grandparents who were sharecroppers, and yes, my parents are professionals and I went to college and everything, but to say that race has nothing to do with it, my grandfather's a brilliant man, but unfortunately, because he was born in the Jim Crow South, he wasn't able to do what I was able to do. And I just think it's an insult.
Aisha, can you hold that thought until Melissa gets back?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
So I'm there with Aisha. So Melissa, what are you talking about, honey? So she's African. I don't know I don't know when she said what her background is, but I'm gonna let it keep playing, because I know she said she came to America when she was like 19. We don't know your past. We don't know your lineage. We don't know if you're part of the Nigerians of parents who sold African Americans into slavery to begin with. So you enjoying all your wealth, and usually, some of the best come to America and are able to come to America and succeed. And that's good for you, cookies and cream for you. But your background doesn't match my background. So if you don't want your child to learn American history, then you need to probably move out of America or put them in another school to learn something else. Because this is America. This is what our country that we built. African Americans, our ancestors and us, it was built on our backs, literally. And you came here for the opportunities of America, but now you want to sit here and try to tell us what we should be teaching our kids. You're not American, and even if you did finally get your citizenship, your voice is not going to take precedence over the people that were here before you. We are Native Americans. We're Native. We were here. We brought in change. Some of us were already here before that, and they enslaved us. So you're not going to come in off the boat and come over here and tell us what white supremacy is, what we should be wanting to be taught in our schools. Negative. Like, this is the point where she should just shut up and sit this out. You can go back to your country and talk about what to teach the kids in your country. This is America, and I do not care if you finally just got your citizenship or whatever. Because I didn't have to fight to get no citizenship. Like, we were already here. We were already here. And yet, actually, yeah, we did to fight to be considered human and to be considered citizens of the country that we built. But that continues my whole argument. You wouldn't even have, Melissa would not even be able to come over here with her African family and get a business degree, which she probably jumped into some affirmative action spot that was supposed to be for an African American. And that's probably because, you know, they definitely have their reasons why they pick Africans over African Americans because of stuff like that, like what she just said. Because they know that Africans can rise through the ranks and they will feel no loyalty, no concern about making sure African Americans get reparations and certain things that we are entitled to. Why should they? Because they're not going to get the check. They're not going to get reparations. They ain't got nothing to do with it. They weren't here. Their families didn't suffer here. And even if your family suffers somewhere else, again, go to your country and go get your money from that country. Bye.
She didn't need to, like, we don't need to broadcast that. That's just something I had on my chest.
We'll go to the
Aisha, you was probably twerking in the
Because,
club.
you know, first of all, there's nothing wrong with a little
And
twerk.
that was-
I know
no,
plenty of
that-
college-educated, PhD degree-educated people who twerk a little bit. I go to salsa. That's
Twerking
my
is good
twerk.
for your back.
Okay, I'm
Mhm.
Good for your back and flexibility.
The
All
twerking
right,
invalidated.
Donna. Okay,
It invalidated.
let's settle. Melissa, did you fix your audio?
I think so.
Perfect. Okay, you can finish
Are
your
you hearing me now?
Yeah, you can finish your
Perfectly? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, I had to run downstairs because my little daughter was coming up here, but so I'm going to be a little bit out of breath. But basically, what I was saying was, by the time after I finished, after 3 years into working for a really good company as an investment advisor, I started my own business. So by the time I was 27 years old, I had a business that was doing 7 figures in income at 27. You know, so when I hear this narrative that America is systemically racist and oppressive to Black people, it's something that doesn't resonate with me at all.
And that's where the problem lies. It doesn't resonate with you, Melissa, because you're African. You're whatever country you came from. You're Ghana American. You're Nigerian American. You're Kenyan American. I don't know which country she came from in Africa, but she came from somewhere and came here at 19 years old. So your mindset's not going to be the mindset we have. Your family and you were not held back systemically up until the point of 19. So you were able to just pick up and continue on with whatever wealth your family was allowed to build, most likely in their country, because there aren't white people over there oppressing them at every turn. And you were able to move through the ranks. And they love to promote Africans over African Americans, like I said, because I had a boss, somebody who was over me who was from Ghana. I did not like him. He was just sleazy and slimy. It's just something about him I didn't like. And so, you know, they don't mind because they know that Africans are going to play the game. African Americans are not. We have been fighting for every single push forward that we've ever gotten. And you're benefiting from it, Melissa. Like everything you just named, you're benefiting from it. It's because of African Americans that you're able to go to college here. You're able to go to the schools that you went to. They're not segregated. They've been built by African Americans if you went to a HBCU, or you got to go to a school like Yale because of affirmative action, which my ancestors, the African Americans, Adolph's ancestors fought for those rights to be able to go to institutions of anywhere in this country. So then you got a job at an investment bank place that you probably would never have gotten a job at if we wouldn't have fought for equal rights as far as being hired, and again, the affirmative action, having the equal opportunity, and them not being able to discriminate, even though they still do, but not as much, but they still have to meet a certain percentage. And you think about it, if you were a boss, a white person who's enjoying white supremacy in this country and all that it has to offer, and you had a choice between an African American and an African, you would probably choose the African too, because you know the African does not only, I mean, white, we have people in America who barely know American history. So African people coming over here don't know shit about what they think they know about. They think that all black people are just twerking and looking silly. Girl, sit down, bye. I have an MBA, so ain't nobody impressed by your little business degree and your 7-figure business, because a lot of black people are doing that. A lot of black people have been doing that. So you're not this like anomaly. You're not special. And the reason why more of us aren't doing it is because of racism. So please go sit your ass down somewhere. You knew it was going to be at least one African person on the panel talking that nonsense. It is 2021. I can't believe people are still talking crazy like this.
I think it's something that actually cripples the minds of young people to that they can't succeed because of the color of their skin. So like,
boo-hoo, get the violin going for Melissa, okay? First, girl, catch your breath, because it shouldn't take that long for you to catch your breath. You're skinny. You ran downstairs. You came back up. You should have caught your breath by now. Second of all, ain't nobody talking about nobody's feelings or whatever. Facts are facts. This is how the country was built. This is the history of this country. Teach the truth. Stop lying to my children. And that's why I took my kids out of schools, because at some point it got to be ridiculous to continue to send them to schools to be taught lies, but they come home and we're showing them Hidden Colors and reading books from black authors about what really happened in our history. How much longer can I be a hypocrite and keep telling my kids to go along with these lies? They're too young to have to go through all that. They are deserving of having the truth be told to them, or they don't need to be sitting in those raggedy ass schools.
Lisa was saying, this is the
I see everybody's hands.
project, in my opinion.
Okay.
I'll let somebody else talk so I can get my breath.
Catch your breath. Okay, thank you, Melissa. Go ahead, Constanza. I see everybody's hands. Go ahead, Constanza.
Insert eye roll here.
Thank you.
So this is the third person that talked that I had a problem with. Look, I'm looking at the panel, and it's like, okay, they got some African-American girls here. The one girl, I'm not even going to play what she was talking about, because she looks like she's a feminist. She's got clit on her t-shirt. The girl to the far left, second square in the middle, she's right above the white girl. She was talking nonsense, so I'm not even going to waste my time with that. I just had commentary on what I have commentary on, and you guys know I like to keep my videos short. So let me play this last one and get my commentary, and then this video will be ending.
So I think there's a difference between critical race theory assuming that black and brown folks can't be successful versus just stating the realities of how the country actually operates, and comparing capitalism and being able to be successful in a capitalist environment. Not the same thing as critical race theory. So I just wanted to put that out there. The other thing, I want to answer, Ashley, your question earlier about why do we think that there's pushback? I think it's by design. I think that because of the misconceptions of what critical race theory or just education on racism actually is by design. I mean, historically, it was white folks who created the Board of Education, and a lot of the people who sat on the Board of Education were the Daughters of the Confederacy, and they were the ones who created what was actually put into historical record. So when we're talking about the United States in particular, we're literally talking about white people creating the history books for us. So it's really literally beyond race. It's literally who is actually telling the story and the narrative, and who is getting away with telling people who is actually successful and who is oppressed. And then the other thing that I wanted to say is, I think that, critical race theory also does a really good job of talking about oppression and oppressor. And I think that scares a lot of people. But beyond that, it also, to I think Uchechi's point, is no one is saying that black and brown people can't succeed, or that they've never been successful, or that.
I didn't know anybody was ever saying anything about brown people. So when she was quick to throw her little group up in there with us, because I'm assuming she's a brown person. No, honey. No. This is why I do agree with the woman. There was a woman at the bottom of the panel, and you guys can watch this video in its entirety. I'll post a link, plus you see the name of it right here. If I forget to post a link, or get busy, and until I post a link, you can still look it up by the name. But I agree with the woman that was at the bottom. She had like a head scarf on, and she said she was like affiliated with the ACLU. which is the American Colleges Legal Union, something about law. But I agree with her because she said, like, why don't we just get our own institutions? Like, we have our own HBCUs. Why don't we get our own schools from elementary on to high school and teach our kids? And I'm always for separatism. Like, I'm always like, yes, 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 please, let's separate from the bullshit, because no matter what we try to do, they always come back. When I say they, I mean the white supremacists. And when I say white supremacists, I mean everybody that ain't black. And sometimes even black people in there as well, like Melissa here, that was somehow, it's not about race. Girl, sit down. So I'm always here for that when I hear a black ADOS person speaking about us building for ourselves and separating from the others, those people over there, the clear people, the Asian people, all that junk. So yeah, but I'm gonna let her finish talking. I did want to just speak on that. Nobody's talking about brown people, but she's gonna keep saying that because, as you see, people always ride on our coattails and try to get some rewards for themselves. But at the end of the day, you don't have the history that we have. Your fight is not my fight. We are not a coalition. We do not rock like that together. Okay?
You know, Black and brown people have never, made any successful endeavors in society, right? Or that they've never been inventors, or that they've never been happy, right? No one is saying that, but I think we have to start getting really clear as to what the oppressor and oppressed complex actually is. And white supremacy actually creates the structure of superiority versus those who are oppressed underneath them. And so it creates the system where literally people cannot thrive to the degree in which everybody can thrive because of race and because of skin color and because of things like ethnicity that also compound on top of race as well. We have created, and I really shouldn't say we, white supremacists have created the black-white binary structure. So it makes it incredibly difficult to have conversations around identity without somebody's feelings getting hurt, because inevitably you have to talk about oppressive ancestors and oppressed ancestors. And so when we start thinking about, why is this a debate when it really shouldn't be a debate, it's actually by design. We have white supremacists who are writing our narratives and who are teaching our children. And if it's really up to everybody to decide, are we going to continue being a society that does that to people, or do we really want everybody to thrive? And in this current society, that's not the case.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Go ahead, Dr. Donna, and then Mouse.
I just wanted to start off with saying that.
Okay, so that was all I wanted to show in that video. Like I said, you guys saw me liking some of these comments. I'm happy to see that people in the comments are extremely woke and on code, because it's one thing to be woke and not do anything with it or do the right things with it, which is to do what you need to do to progress, to push the black race forward. But it's another thing to actually see people writing it and being very vocal and active in the code and letting it be known that some of the people we're talking about on this panel was blasphemy. It was just a mess. So I like this quote here where it says, if black children are old enough to experience racism, why aren't white children old enough to learn about racism? This is straight from the mouth of a white woman. Here they say she came here at 19 but wants to speak on why African Americans aren't progressing. She needs to study I'm pretty sure that's what she meant. She needs to study the history of her goddamn self. That's some old BS. And I say that as an Afro-Caribbean American. Also, it's the ancestors that interrupted her audio. The ancestors lining the ocean between the content girl preach. Until all black people are successful, your individual success means nothing. You were just lucky enough to catch one of the crumbs thrown at black folks. This woman got me hot. Preach. Then you got Gain Shay Gavin saying, Melissa sounds like a lot of black immigrants that come to America and separate themselves from the African American experience because in their eyes, they're not American. They're not African American. They're different. This is something that I had to grapple with myself, migrating 18 to the U.S. from Jamaica. But my ass learned real quick that my being Jamaican won't help me if I get stopped by the police. I'd just be black with an accent. And then Nicor said, Melissa, listening to you feels like listening to someone who half knows the Bible. Mouse, I had to clench my pearls. Then you have Michael, who I loved his comment. Mama thought that she was cute giving Beyonce light and coming on here saying systemic racism doesn't exist because she got a little coin and some blonde hair. Preach, brother. Then you got, oh my gosh, Nabule Mtimbu. Loving this because she sounds like she has an African name, so she's probably from Africa, but she seems like she's probably more woke or more on code than Melissa ever could be. She said the danger of a single story is real. Melissa is elevating, and this is very, very powerful what she says. Melissa is elevating her experience to a world truth. To say racism exists but deny its effects is psychotic. From her name to the reason she left Zim, colonialism has played a major role. Yeah, Melissa, I was like, that name can't get any whiter. The disrespect of people's experience from whom you have benefited is sad. I am so discouraged that someone, just because they have a different experience, can so discount the truth of someone else's. Girl. I have to comment, y'all. Sorry. Because it's like I'm loving that I'm hearing from people who aren't even like African American or ADOS that they're getting it. And that means so much to me. Because it's not hard to get. It's not hard to get. I love this comment too. So the Tulsa bombing and massacre, Philadelphia bombing, the systemic annihilation of the Black Panthers, and more recently BLM leaders. But systematic racism doesn't matter. I was so happy to see Aisha, Uchichi, Dr. Donna, and Mouse. Also, Nicole and Elena were great too. They said they got it. Melissa so quickly packed her bag and everything. Oh my gosh. Oh. See, people don't know. They don't know. They don't know what they're dealing with. They don't know what they're dealing with. They don't realize that they're dealing with a different type of Black folk. People are thinking that they're still dealing with people who are scared. And I completely empathize with my ancestors because I know for a fact they were traumatized. My grandmother never spoke of what she must have seen or endured or lived through while she grew up in the dirty South of the Montgomery, Alabama. People call it the Gump, but I can only imagine. And I mean the horror, so traumatic. Like who wants to relive some of the worst stuff you probably have ever experienced in human nature in life? It's unfathomable. And so I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, they should say something. They fought like hell. And that's why I am here. And all the descendants are where we are today, able to be on the internet having this discussion. And it is our duty to continue to push our race forward even further than our ancestors did. And I just love them to pieces. Our ancestors, they went through fucking hell. And there's no way on earth I'm going to let anyone discount that and try to act like, oh, because I came here and I succeeded. And then she, in the same voice, she basically insulted the very people who are the reason her ass is here. Talking about why we were twerking in the club. Bitch, you don't know what we were doing. And don't act like you don't twerk with your fake blonde hair and your little weave that you got in your head. Like, you look ghetto. You think you're high class and that your name's Melissa, which sounds extremely stupid, on this Black woman who I know is not, I think she could have been from the islands. I don't know. But I feel like she was from Africa. Like one of the African countries. I don't know why, but I don't know. I just feel like her accent sounded like African country. She didn't sound like Jamaican or anything to me. But that's neither here nor there. My point is, I love how people in here, in the comments, whether they Black, Afro-Caribbean, Afro-Latino, whatever, if they have African descent, I'm loving that they understand our plight as African Americans, just like we will support them and when they're fighting for what they're fighting for. So we need to stick together as a group, as a whole, as a Black nation. We also need to be respectful. If African Americans went over to the Caribbean islands or to an African country, I don't think it would be our right to sit on a panel and tell them what they should or should not be teaching the children as far as the history of that country when we just came there like 19 years old. Who the fuck are you? You know what I'm saying? Like, your family literally just got here. Why are you on the panel talking? Why are you talking? And then if it doesn't affect you, like the Latina girl talking about Black and brown, no, honey, no. We don't have the same history. So I have a real problem with that. Like, don't just lump yourself in. That's disrespectful. We don't have the same history. We don't lump, like, every time Black people try to get something for ourselves, everybody else want to jump in and get the bag, get some of the stuff out of the bag as well. No, because usually we do end up getting leftovers or nothing. And two, it's just time. It's been beyond time. So no. I don't want to be lumped in with nobody else. Nobody else was lumped in when it was slavery time and we were being enslaved. When they continue to do racist things against my people, my black people, for all these centuries. Nobody's getting lumped in with this. So these people can stand behind us and help us fight for what we deserve, or they need to go have several fucking C's. I don't play games like that. Like, I'm a very straightforward person. I'm not here for games. I want what I want. I want my check. I want my land. I want everything that my people deserve, have earned, are completely entitled of. And this ain't the time to be hearing about no black and brown. There is no black and brown. There's never been a black and brown. I don't see what brown people are doing for black people. Like, where? What are you doing? All I see is you may be taking from us. You're taking from us in some way, shape, or form. People just keep taking. The door's closed. Stop taking shit from us. Either be on our side, be our allies, or get the fuck on. All right, guys. So that's what I had to say about this commentary. You know, of course, you guys put your comments below. Let us know what you think. And I'll talk to you guys later. I have other videos to create, so be on the lookout for 2 more videos that, like, ooh, just really had my soul. I was like, I cannot not say anything. So be on the lookout for those. You know, you guys can, of course, like, subscribe, and hit the little bell so you can see when the videos come in. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.